To all the non-believers, 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 non-believers. I'm making non-believers.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and we got a lot of stuff to cover. This is episode 47 of NBA Talk Playoff Edition, and whew, what a weekend! What a weekend for hoops, man. So let me just get started with what happened Friday night. Yeah, I know I'm going way back there with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. Yo, this was the game for the Celtics to try to make a statement that from what happened in that game 2 loss, but Milwaukee they just look like the superior team. I'm just being honest with you. Like, this is the epitome of what it is to surround a superstar with shooters, because Giannis looks impossible to guard when he has all these shooters around him, because Chris Middleton at any given moment could light you up from the three-point line. Nikola Mirotic could light you up from the three-point line. And defensively, I know I didn't mention a lot of the shooters on the team. Excuse me if I didn't mention anybody, but the Milwaukee Bucks defensively, they're just when they come together defensively as a group, they're very hard to score on. I mean, you saw what happened. You saw what happened in Game 3, and yeah. All I'm hearing about is how many free throws Giannis got, how many free throws that the Bucks got in the third quarter, and all that. I'm not here for none of that. I'm not here for none of that. Like, I'm really not. At the end of the day, you couldn't find a way to score. At the end of the day, you let the three-point shooters on the Bucks get going. That's what happens when you let the shooters get going. You get smoked. I don't want to hear nothing about the free throws. You know Giannis attacks the paint a lot, so eventually he's gonna get called for a lot. He's gonna get a lot of calls for fouls. So it's like, I don't want to hear none of that from none of these Celtics fans. I really don't. I don't want to hear no excuses. And then Kyrie, of all people, saying that it's slowing the game down. Listen, the Celtics got 6 free throws at the end of near the end of the fourth quarter. That score, what you see there, is not the real score, because there was 6 free throws that the Boston Celtics didn't deserve. So I'll tell you that something about free throws. You didn't deserve none of those free throws. Those were the most ridiculous fouls, the most ticky-tack fouls to give you guys free throws. The rest tried to save the game. I'm telling you right now. The rest tried to keep the Celtics in the game, but Milwaukee just said, nah, screw that. Nah, screw that. This is over. This is over on our terms. Get the hell out of here. So yeah, by the end of the day, man, it's like Milwaukee could be the most dominant team in these playoffs, because when they're there collectively on defense and the shooters are going, and then Giannis is attacking the rim, and then when Giannis occasionally shoots the 3-ball, like he made Al Horford fall for that pump fake. Like, I did not think I would see Al Horford, of all people, on the Celtics falling for a pump fake from Giannis, because, you know, to me, I don't know if anybody else thinks this, I think Al Horford's the best defender on Boston right now, but yeah, to get him going on a pump fake on Giannis, who hasn't really shot the 3-ball in this series, that's a shocker to me. That's a shocker to me. But what do I gotta say about Game 4? Yo, Milwaukee's got a full head of steam going into Game 4. They got a full head of steam. The Milwaukee Bucks have grown up. These are not boys. These are men. And what I mean by that, I mean like Giannis, Chris Middleton, and these guys. They're grown. They are becoming men, and they are not scared of the challenge of trying to steal a series, trying to steal both games in Boston. They're not scared. They're not scared of the Celtics. I mean, they're not the Sixers that they'll crack under pressure, because the Sixers, they'll crack under pressure as soon as they see Boston, but Milwaukee doesn't. They're not going to crack under the pressure this time. Like, not unlike last year when Boston had their miracle run. Yes, I said miracle, because on all due honesty, I honestly think Milwaukee should have beaten them in the first round. But, you know, things happen. But Milwaukee's coming in with a different attitude. They're going to be a whole lot aggressive in Game 4. Defensively, they want to put this series away. They want to put this away. To me, the Bucks. I got the Bucks winning the series, but it's just wow, man. Milwaukee, just book it. Milwaukee's going to the conference finals because the way Boston's playing, you only got one good game out of Jason Tatum, and then look how and you still lost the game. You got one decent game out of Gordon Hayward. Kyrie Irving had a decent first half, and then all of a sudden he couldn't get a bucket at the rim. So yeah, it's like you can't. Boston could have their best. I said this during Game 3 in the first half. Boston had the best first half since Game 2, and they only had a 1-point lead. That's how good this Milwaukee Bucks team is. They didn't look discouraged because they were down at the half. Look how they came back, and look how they kept attacking. Boston has to pray to God that they make all their perimeter shots, and that's not always guaranteed. It's not always guaranteed. They got to pray that they make their perimeter shots. And so I got Milwaukee winning Game 4. The series is going to be 3-1, and then I just don't see Boston winning Game 5. I just don't. I just really don't. I don't see Boston winning Game 5. I really don't. That's just how I see it. From what I see, if Milwaukee comes back with that same mentality and attacks the same way that they did in Game 3, then this series is a wrap. Now, man, did we have ourselves a weekend with the Nuggets and the Portland Trail Blazers. With that Game 3, 4 overtimes, man. Oh my God, man. What a game. I haven't seen a game like that since maybe 2009 with the Bulls and the Celtics, man. Yo, that was a great game to watch. But I know Jokic was just like, my God, he was exhausted during that game. And then it's just a savage how Rodney Hood comes in after playing only 22 minutes and comes in the fourth overtime and puts the game away. I felt like that was like the biggest FU to the Nuggets. It's like, yo, we got a fresh guy on the bench, and he just comes in and hits the key three to put away the game. It's like, damn, that is some savage stuff. But yeah, man. Damian Lillard, I don't know what's going on with Damian Lillard. Like he's going. He's getting his shots, but it's just like I feel like he's struggling a bit more. Maybe because that Denver is a better defensive team. They switch a lot more, and so Damian Lillard's not getting easy looks. Occasionally he gets very easy looks, but to me, the biggest killer right now in this series, you have your own opinion, but here's mine. Jamal Murray has been killing Damian Lillard. To me, Jamal Murray has been killing Damian Lillard. Because in Game 3, even though Portland won, Game 4 was a whole different story. Jamal Murray was just on fire. He was on fire, man. I know everybody talking about Jokic and all that, but I'm looking at Jamal Murray and I'm going like, he looking like a killer in this series right now. He going at Damian Lillard. He's killing the Trailblazers right now. I'm loving how aggressive he is, man. And I've seen Jamal Murray occasionally here and there. I've been seeing him play. I've been seeing him play for the past couple of years. But like I've never thought I would see, just in his first playoff run, how aggressive he is. Like he's not afraid of the moment, man. Like he don't care who is in front of him. He's going at Damian Lillard. And this is not and even though I say not that I try to defend Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray ain't Russell Westbrook. He's making his shots. He's making his shots. Like you cannot leave him from the three. You cannot give him the mid to throw up that floater. You cannot give him that. You can't give him that for nothing. He's gonna make those shots, and from what I've seen in the games 3 and 4, Jamal Murray has just been so aggressive when Jokic is putting up his numbers too. Jokic has been putting up his numbers, but I feel like Jamal Murray is not getting all his credit. Like I feel like he's not getting enough credit especially in that Game 4 win, because Game 4 was a thriller also. Game 4 was a thriller also, man. And like I said, Jamal Murray's like the main reason why they pulled out that win. He's just been so aggressive, and then shooting that three ball at such a high rate. He just doesn't care. He's just attacking. He's just straight hooping. He's just straight hooping. He's just giving Portland the business. He's doing work. And then Gary Harris, Will Barton, Paul Millsap. This is one thing I like about Denver so far. They are very aggressive on the rebounds. They are very, very aggressive when getting rebounds. And that's one thing Portland is lacking. And to me, Portland barely survived Game 3 because of that. They barely survived that because, to me, if Portland would have lost Game 3 and 4, I was going to tell you strictly that Portland lost because they're not aggressive on the rebounds. But because in Game 3 that Denver wasn't hitting some of their shots in those overtimes, that's why they lost Game 3. But Game 4, that's a whole different story. Denver was hitting their shots. Denver was hitting their shots and getting the rebound, so that's why they won this game. But aside from me praising Jamal Murray, I gotta give a shout out to Enes Kanter, man. Enes Kanter playing on a separated shoulder, man, and he's still playing hard. He's still giving all the 100% effort. Yo, it just almost makes me think, if this man's shoulder wasn't so damn bad, like would this have made a difference? And my thing would be yes. I think it would have made a difference, because if this guy was 100%, I think Jokic would have a bit more of a problem. But since he has that injury with his shoulder, it's like he's not limited, but he can't be as aggressive at getting the rebounds, because you get that paranoia of getting hit on that shoulder. So it's like, I commend him 100% of what he's doing, especially what he did in that Game 3. But it's just like, I feel like it's starting to take a toll, and I started to notice that in Game 4. And you can only take so much pain for so long, and it becomes unbearable. But I commend Enes Kanter for how he's been playing. I really do. But yeah, the Nuggets, they tied up the series. They're going into Game 5. This is a do or die game for Portland, because if Denver takes a 3-2 lead, I do not see how Portland comes back from that. So this is a do or die game for Portland. Damian Lillard needs to have a big game. He really does. He needs to have a really big game for them to take a 3-2 lead over Denver, because Denver has got the advantage right now, especially on the rebounds. They're being very aggressive on the boards, and they're attacking the paint a lot. So, and with them attacking the paint so much, it just leaves their shooters with so much space, and it's just that much harder to try to play against Denver. So Portland needs to have a big game from CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, even though CJ McCollum has also been balling. He's also been balling like crazy ever since that Game 3. But like I said, they need to have big games. They need to have a big game to win Game 5, because I just feel like Denver is going to come in with that same attitude, that same aggressiveness, attacking the board, shooting the three. I don't think they're going to get complacent whatsoever. They're not going to get complacent whatsoever. But yeah, that series, this is a back and forth series. I officially cannot tell who's gonna win this series. But if I had to give an advantage, I'm gonna give the advantage to Denver. They're the one. They got the momentum carrying into Game 5. They got home court advantage. There's a do or die game for Portland. The margin of error is very small now. So yeah, that's how we'll have to see what happens in Game 5. Now let's talk about Game 3 between the Warriors and the Rockets. This was a very interesting and odd game, but I love the show we got between James Harden and Kevin Durant. Man, that was a classic. I'm gonna one up you one way or another kind of game. Like James Harden, James Harden just didn't give two craps in this game three. He said, I'm gonna take us there. I'm gonna take us to the win, or we're going down. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go swimming because I'm telling you right now, James Harden was so aggressive, and I liked what I saw. Kevin Durant putting up 46 points. James Harden putting up 41. It was just a classic showdown. I loved watching this game. I don't care what people say about the rest in this game because this game was still close. This game was still close. This game was physical. It got aggressive. KD was as hard to stop as always. But I gotta say something about this. As hot as Kevin Durant was, the fact that he did not get the ball throughout the overtime, and then by the time he got it, he was cold. I started to question. I'm like, wait a minute, KD, why didn't you finish this game? Why didn't you finish this game? You saw how bad Steph played in this game three. Steph Curry was 7 for 23. Steph Curry was 7 for 23. And Klay Thompson, he didn't have such a bright night either. But why didn't you finish this game? Because as great as you've been playing in the playoffs, and then the battle you have with James Harden throughout the entire game, why wouldn't you finish the game out in overtime? Especially with how close the game was. And then by the time you get the ball and try to throw up your shots, you got cold, and James Harden was just an assassin. He hit that step back three on Iguodala, and that's it. Game over. It was game over. Like everybody thought that this was gonna be a sweep. I didn't think this was gonna be a sweep. Like, I literally had an argument about this with my dad, and my dad's like, "Oh, this series is a wrap. This series is a wrap." No, this series is not a wrap. I'm sorry, this is not a wrap. The Rockets, they're another team that's starting to get aggressive on the boards, and people underestimate how key rebounds are. Getting rebounds could be just as important as getting an assist. I'm sorry, because if you get more offensive rebounds, you have more possessions, and that leaves less possessions for the opposing team. So the rebounds for Houston needs to be key. It needs to be key. Just like with Denver and Portland, Houston needs to be aggressive on the boards. They need to be aggressive on the boards, and they need to keep attacking the paint. I liked what I saw from James Harden. He was attacking the paint, making that floater, taking occasional mid-range shots, and not just settling for step-back threes. That's what I like to see. I like to see them attacking, and that's where Houston is at their best. So I hope Houston keeps at it with this mentality, because I don't know if Golden State is gonna have such a bad shooting night from their backcourt, especially from Steph Curry, to go 7 for 23, even though Houston's been playing somewhat good defense on him. But game three was just like, what the hell? It's like their defense wasn't that great on Steph in game three that he shot that bad. But yeah, we'll see what happens in game four. But I would love to see another battle between KD and James Harden like we saw in game three. I loved watching that. That was just very fun to watch. I love when I see the two superstars on the team just going at it, the battling. Oh man, this is a series. Even though it doesn't look like it, it's a series between James Harden and Kevin Durant because they're just going at it. Yeah, we'll see what happens in game four. I hope the Rockets win game four. I'm confident the Rockets are gonna win game four, but we'll see. Who knows? Now, game four between the Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh man, I praised Joel Embiid in game three, and then it comes back to bite me in the ass. Like what the hell? Joel Embiid all of a sudden he turns back into the Joel Embiid of the first two games. Like what the hell, man? the Sixers, they went back to being a stagnant offense, and then they got the lead. Their 3-point shooting was still pretty decent, but Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid just were not there. They were not there. And then Ben Simmons did not exist. Ben Simmons did not exist. Like, it was basically just Jimmy Butler. It was basically Jimmy Butler and shooters. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. Like, even though Philly got the lead at one point in the game and they were starting to close it out, they couldn't shut down Kawhi. And that's been the problem in this series. Kawhi's been playing on a whole nother level, which I want to get to another point. Kawhi Leonard, to me, has been the best player in the playoffs so far right now. Like, he is averaging 39 points on 63% shooting in this series alone. He's shooting 47% from the 3-point line. I mean, come on. This is a whole nother level. How can you stop this man? This is unbelievable. I've never seen Kawhi this good. And to tell you the truth, I don't think Kawhi's getting enough recognition with how he's been playing in these playoffs. Everybody's talking about Kevin Durant and how otherworldly he's been playing. Kawhi Leonard's been playing more efficiently, especially in this series. He's single-handedly killing the Sixers. Even though it's a tie series right now, Toronto pulled out the win. Kawhi is just being so aggressive, and now with the advantage that they're using with that pick and roll with Marc Gasol, and I don't see Philly playing that bad a defense again, but it's just like it's like, oh my God, Kawhi's playing on is just anything he throws up. I'm over here sitting here saying it's going in. Any three he throws up is going in. Any mid-range shot he shoots up is going in. I'm literally not having a doubt in my mind whenever Kawhi Leonard throws up a shot. I just don't have a doubt in my mind. I really don't. I don't have a single doubt in my mind whenever he throws up a shot. He's just playing on a whole nother level now. We're over here talking about KD and how great he's been playing in the playoffs. But to me, the best player so far in this playoffs has been Kawhi Leonard. Like, Kawhi Leonard has just been so aggressive, and he's not afraid of some of these shots that he's taking. That one-footed three-pointer that he made over Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons at the end of the fourth quarter. Oh man, I just said to myself, dude, what can you do about that? What the hell are you gonna do about that? Seriously, there's nothing you can do when a guy is making a one-legged three-pointer in your face. There's nothing you can do. It's just his night. It's his night. But it's not just been his night. It's been his series so far. But this is a do or die game for the Sixers. This is a do or die game for the Sixers. I don't hear no excuses for Game 5. Joel Embiid, I don't care what you got to do. You need to find some alternative medicine or some crap like that, and you need to get your act together. I need to see the Joel Embiid that was in Game 3. That was absolutely ridiculous what I saw in Game 4, especially those missed free throws. You were down by 2, and you missed 2 key free throws. Like, come on, man. I'm sick and tired of hearing these excuses from Joel Embiid. I'm really sick of I'm sick of hearing it. Why can't we get a consistent Joel Embiid? We need to get a consistent and dominant Joel Embiid if they want to win this series. Like, come on, bro. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. Like why? We get one good game out of Joel Embiid, and then all of a sudden we get an 11 points. 11 points after you had a 33 and 10 night with 5 blocks. Come on, man. The Sixers need to come out more aggressive. This is do or die for them. I know the series is tied, but this is do or die. I do not care. I don't want to hear no excuses from Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris needs to show up. Ben Simmons, again, you need to be a factor in this series. You need to be a factor in this series. You need to continue playing the defense that you was playing. Even though Kawhi Leonard has been unstoppable, you need to make your presence known. Do not leave Joel Embiid alone with Kawhi Leonard. And for God's sakes, can you learn? Can you switch up? Can you switch up on the pick and roll? Like, for God's sake, bro. Like, can you not switch up so easily on the pick and roll? It's just what the hell, man? They just made you look silly yesterday. The Raptors looked like they were toying with you yesterday, and then Kyle Lowry had a decent game. So the Sixers, they need to get their act together. They dead need to get their act together. It's just absolutely ridiculous. What from that game 4 should have been theirs. The Sixers should be up 3-1 right now if they played the cards right. But yeah, I don't want to hear no excuses. The Sixers should win this series. They should. Because all in all, the Raptors, aside from Kawhi Leonard, I have not seen much production from this team aside from Kawhi Leonard and Pascal Siakam. The Sixers overall should dominate in this. They should be dominating this series. They should be up 3-1. They should be walking into Game 5 thinking about closing out this series and not thinking about taking a 3-2 lead. But yeah, man, no excuses. I don't want to hear no excuses from Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid needs to come into Game 5 and just straight dominate. I don't care what you got to do to get better. I really don't. Because what I am seeing is just absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens in these games, man. These upcoming games. But yeah, that's what I had to cover for this past weekend in the playoffs. That's just my overall opinion. That's my overall opinion on the playoffs so far in progress in this second round. Like, comment, subscribe if you like basketball content. This is your boy Jay Varsity, and I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of non-believers. Make believers out the overseas.